What happens when your most intimate relationship wounds become global headlines? When your tears, your text messages, and your heartbreak are dissected by millions of strangers? When a suicide attempt triggered by relationship trauma transforms from personal crisis to public spectacle? KEHLANI's relationship journey represents one of the most profound evolutions in modern celebrity, a progression from devastating public vulnerability to strategic emotional protection that offers powerful lessons about healing in the digital age. From the infamous love triangle with Kyrie Irving and Party Next Door that played out on social media to her more recent approach of selective privacy, each chapter reveals truths about the psychological impact of having your most intimate wounds exposed by public judgment. What makes her relationship evolution truly exceptional isn't just its public nature, but how deliberately she transformed her approach to privacy after experiencing its catastrophic absence. When we explore her journey today, I'll uncover 3 counterintuitive truths about relationship healing that will transform how you understand not just her story, but your own path through heartbreak in an era of digital exposure. These insights contradict conventional wisdom, but are supported by research on privacy, healing, and emotional resilience. Stay with me as I reveal these relationship principles that KEHLANI's journey illuminates, principles that could revolutionize your understanding of how privacy isn't just preference, but protection for our most vulnerable healing processes. Just to note, if you enjoy this deep dive into celebrity relationship evolution, check out my 24-hour live stream channels for more content exploring both singles journeys and relationship dynamics. As a subscriber, you can join the conversation, share your perspectives, and connect with others fascinated by these same topics. Subscribe now and become part of our growing community. What does it mean to heal from heartbreak when your wounds have been turned into entertainment? To rebuild trust not just in partners, but in your right to emotional privacy. KEHLANI Ashley Parrish has navigated a remarkable evolution from her early rise as a teenage vocalist with Pop Life through her emergence as an R&B star to becoming a mother and increasingly selective voice about her intimate life. Throughout this journey, we witness a profound psychological transformation from someone whose most painful relationship moments become public property to someone who has reclaimed control over her emotional narrative. I've analyzed the complete arc of her relationship history alongside her artistic evolution, discovering something remarkable. Her journey from public heartbreak to private healing isn't just personal preference, but psychological necessity, revealing universal truths about how exposure impacts our ability to process relationship wounds. Think about your own experience. Have you ever had private relationship pain exposed beyond your control? How did that exposure affect your healing process? These psychological mechanisms in KEHLANI's journey might illuminate your own approach to vulnerability and protection. Public exposure of relationship wounds often creates a secondary trauma beyond the original heartbreak, transforming private healing into performance and complicating the natural recovery process. KEHLANI's most public relationship crisis erupted in March 2016 during her relationship with NBA star Kyrie Irving. After Canadian artist Party Next Door posted a photo suggesting intimacy with KEHLANI, social media erupted with accusations of infidelity, though she later clarified she and Irving had already separated. The digital pylon became so severe that KEHLANI attempted suicide, posting a photo from her hospital bed explaining she had tried to take her life amid public shaming. What makes this crisis significant is how it demonstrates what trauma specialists call secondary wounding, the additional psychological damage that occurs when private pain becomes public spectacle. Unlike conventional heartbreak processed privately, KEHLANI faced not just the end of a relationship but global judgment about her character, loyalty, and worth, creating a multi-layered trauma that complicated natural healing. Her public heartbreak reveals how exposure creates psychological double bind, the natural need to process relationship pain colliding with the pressure to perform that processing for an audience. This pattern extends beyond celebrity to anyone whose relationship struggles beyond or become exposed through social media or community gossip. Consider your own experiences. How has having relationship pain witnessed by others affected your healing process? Did exposure create pressure to perform recovery rather than authentically experience it? After experiencing the trauma of public heartbreak, relationship boundary evolution often follows a pattern of strategic revelation rather than complete withdrawal, selectively controlling narrative rather than abandoning it. By the time KEHLANI entered a relationship with rapper YG in 2019, her approach to public disclosure had evolved significantly. Rather than having their relationship defined by others' social media posts, the couple controlled their narrative through selective sharing, making their relationship Instagram official on their own terms. However, when YG was caught on video kissing another woman outside a nightclub, KEHLANI's response demonstrated her evolved approach to public heartbreak, addressing it briefly in her song Valentine's Day, Shameful, but refusing to let the drama dominate her public identity. This phase demonstrates what boundary theorists call strategic transparency, the conscious decision to reveal specific aspects of relationship challenges while maintaining private space for authentic processing. Unlike her earlier experiences where boundaries were violated by others, KEHLANI established herself as the primary author of her relationship narrative, revealing pain through art rather than unfiltered social media. What makes this evolution significant is how it highlights the difference between chosen vulnerability and imposed exposure. By processing relationship pain primarily through controlled artistic expression rather than real-time social media, KEHLANI created psychological space between her experiencing self and her expressing self, allowing for reflection beyond revelation. In your own relationship challenges, how have you distinguished between chosen vulnerability and boundary violations? How might creating space between experience and expression change your healing process? Major life transitions like parenthood often catalyze profound relationship boundary recalibrations, creating not just new priorities, but entirely new frameworks for determining what deserves protection. The birth of KEHLANI's daughter, Adea, in March 2019 with guitarist marked a pivotal evolution in her approach to relationship privacy. While she announced her pregnancy through social media and occasionally sharing glimpses of motherhood, she established much stricter boundaries around her co-parenting relationship and her daughter's exposure. This transformation reflected not just preference, but purpose, protecting her child from the public consumption she had experienced. What makes this phase psychologically significant is how it demonstrates the concept of purpose-driven boundaries, establishing privacy not just as personal preference, but as protection for something greater than yourself. Unlike her earlier approach, where relationship details were currency in the attention economy, motherhood created a new hierarchy of values where protection outweighed exposure. Her evolution through motherhood reflects what developmental psychologists call generative boundary setting, establishing limits based on responsibility for others rather than just self-protection. By prioritizing her daughter's right to privacy over the commercial benefits of exposure, KEHLANI demonstrated a mature recalibration of the relationship between public and private life. In your own journey, have you experienced how responsibility for others changed your boundaries? How might protecting something beyond yourself clarify which aspects of your life deserve privacy? KEHLANI's openness about her sexual fluidity and eventual coming out as lesbian in 2021 reveals another dimension of her evolved approach to privacy. Strategic transparency about identity while maintaining boundaries around specific relationships. What makes her approach to sexuality disclosure significant is how it demonstrates selective transparency, being open about identity while still protecting intimate details. Unlike her earlier relationship history where specifics were exposed without consent, KEHLANI has chosen to be forthright about her sexual orientation while becoming increasingly private about individual relationships, creating a template for authenticity without overexposure. This balance reveals what identity researchers call categorical versus episodic disclosure. The distinction between sharing aspects of your identity versus specific relationship experiences. By being open about being lesbian while maintaining privacy around particular relationships, KEHLANI established a more sustainable approach to authenticity that didn't require sacrificing intimacy to visibility. Her approach to sexuality disclosure reflects a universal challenge: how to be authentic about identity while maintaining necessary privacy around relationships. In your own experience, have you navigated, or how have you navigated, the balance between representing your identity truthfully while protecting specific intimate connections? How might distinguishing between identity transparency and relationship privacy create healthier boundaries? KEHLANI's current relationship approach represents a sophisticated integration of vulnerability and protection, using her art as the primary channel for emotional processing while maintaining stronger boundaries around her day-to-day intimate life. What makes her current approach significant is how it demonstrates the mature capacity for channeled vulnerability, expressing authentic relationship experiences through creative work rather than unfiltered social media. Albums like It Was Good Until It Wasn't and Blue Water Road reveal intimate emotional terrain, but through the protective layer of artistic translation, creating both connection and necessary distance. Her evolved approach reflects what expressive artist therapists identify as the aesthetic distance, the psychological space between direct experience and the creative expression that allows for both authentic sharing and emotional protection. In your own life, have you found channels for processing relationship experiences that provide both release and boundary? How might creative expression offer a middle path between complete privacy and raw KEHLANI's evolution from public heartbreak to private healing offers far more than celebrity fascination. It provides a powerful template for understanding how we recover from relationship wounds in an era of digital exposure. From having her most intimate pain become global headlines to establishing sophisticated boundaries around her emotional life, her journey reveals the critical relationship between privacy and authentic healing. Her pattern demonstrates that healthy vulnerability isn't unlimited exposure, but strategic revelation. Sharing aspects of our experience through channels we control while maintaining private space for authentic processing. The progression from having boundaries violated to establishing purpose-driven protection reveals how privacy isn't selfishness, but necessary sanctuary for genuine emotional recovery. If this exploration resonated with you, please hit that like and subscribe button. And remember that in an era where relationship pain can be instantly exposed through screenshots and social media, establishing boundaries isn't just preference, but psychological necessity. Consider how you might create more intentional channels for processing relationship experiences, neither completely hidden nor carelessly exposed, but thoughtfully shared in ways that support rather than complicate your healing journey. As I always say, stay beautiful, stay connected, and stay conscious in the field.